Sorry, guys. Welcome to the line change. In this video, we're going to be talking about the latest update from Patrik Allvin that happened during the end of season media availability between Allvin and Rutherford. They talked a little bit about Tom Willander and the most recent update when it comes to when Willander will sign with the Vancouver Canucks. And people aren't going to like this latest update. So I'm going to go ahead and say, as I put into the video title description, Ruh Roh. This latest update is brought to us by our friends at Canucks Army. This article, which as I always do, I'll leave a link to in the description down below. We're also going to go over a other article, not necessarily article per se, but we're going to talk we're going to go through JPAT'S Monday Canucks mailbag, where he discusses Tom Willander and him intending to go back to school for a third year at BU instead of signing with the Canucks. So this article, as I mentioned, is from Canucks Army, and it goes as follows. Vancouver Canucks general manager Patrik Allvin spoke on unsigned top prospect Tom Willander at their end of season media availability. This is a quote from Patrik Allvin. His advisor has informed us that he was going back to school. Our staff has been in communication. Michael Samuelson and Mike Komisarek has built a great relationship with Tom during the year. They felt that he was ready to turn pro after 2 successful years in Boston University. I mean, it's a lot of money for a young player to pass on, but that's the information we had here as of last week from his agent, that the intention was to go back to school. Negotiations between the Canucks and their prized defensive prospect have reportedly been slow and quiet. Many insiders have claimed the main sticking point is the quantity of Schedule A bonuses afforded to him in his entry-level contract. All reports have indicated that Willander was ready to turn professional. However, the Canucks have not closed the book on signing Willander this summer. Goes on to quote Patrik Allvin once again. We'll continue to work with Tom, and he's coming in here for development camp. Great relationship with him. I think this is part of learning how to be a pro and what the next step will become. The money involved that you're turning down to go back to school, but that's a direction as of last week. And then it goes on to talk about how Willander's advisor, Todd Diamond, responded to Allvin's comments through Donnie and Dolly's Rick Dollywall. And this is a quote from his advisor. Our intent was/is to turn pro, but if we don't agree on a contract that Tom and his family are comfortable with, returning to BU and other situations become possible over the next few seasons. So just digest that for a second there. He says over the next few seasons. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like that wording, saying over the next few, as in what, 3? Multiple seasons. That's not sounding so good when it comes to, Willander. And it'll be a real drag if the signing bonuses or the Schedule A bonuses are, halting this. Like, seems like the Canucks put a whole lot of money on the table for this 20-year-old kid to come play pro, but they can't come to an agreement on bonuses. I don't know. I don't know too much about the whole bonuses thing. I'm not as, in tune with like prospects and stuff like that. I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on, what they go through and bonuses and stuff like that. So I don't have much, knowledge of that, as I mentioned. The 2022 and 23 NHL drafts had 14 first-round draft picks play in the NCAA, Willander is one of 3 who have yet to sign an entry-level contract. The Tampa Bay Lightning's Isaac Howard and the Minnesota Wild's Charlie Stramel are the other 2 unsigned college players. Tom Willander recorded 6 goals and 43 assists over 77 games and 2 seasons with Boston University. He also represented Sweden at the World Junior Championships, registering 8 points in 16 games across 2 tournaments. However, the smooth skating rearguard's bread and butter is his shutdown defense. Canucks Army will continue to monitor the story as it develops throughout this summer. So there's that. That's not looking good at all for the Canucks. Now I want to beg the question to you guys. Do you guys think the Canucks should be worried at this point? Some people, were worried that, he returned to class and didn't sign right away. Some were even saying, oh, he doesn't want to go to, Abbotsford. He doesn't want to go to the AHL. He wants to go straight to the top. But obviously the Canucks, having not made the playoffs, there was no sense for that. People were throwing that out there, especially with him, having been eliminated in the Frozen Four and then returning to his studies. And now apparently he's going to Sweden to play hockey in Sweden. So things have been all over the place, but are you guys worried? Are you guys as fans worried? Do you guys think the Canucks should be concerned at this point? Let me know in the comment section down below. But let's before I shift into the second article that I want to go over, let me quickly do my sponsor read, and then we'll dive right into that second article from JPAT. Are you looking for an energy drink that is jitter-free, crash-free, no sugars, no artificial colors or dyes, and no calories? Then Dubby Energy is for you. With over 15 plus unique custom-made flavors, go ahead and get a starter sampler pack, which includes 3 different flavors. Use code TheLineChange to get 10% off your next purchase. Dubby Energy, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. All right, let's dive into that second piece. There we go. Okay, so JPAT'S Monday mailbag. Obviously, this is from JPAT of Canucks Army, Jeff Patterson. And it starts off as the offseason is officially upon us. This was from yesterday. Offseason is officially upon us. Last season, the Vancouver Canucks played until the May long weekend. This time around, they didn't even make it to Easter. It means we will all have a little too much time on our hands for the next 4.5 months. Excuse me, he's not wrong there. 4.5 months. Hopefully, the Monday mailbag will help you pass a few of those idle moments. Obviously, people's attention is turning to what's ahead. There is no question management has plenty on its plate to get this team back on into the postseason. We will continue to field your queries over the weeks and months to come. The mailbag may get scaled back at some point over the summer, but until then, if you continue to submit questions, we'll do our best each week to answer them. So let's jump right in. This particular question asks, who are a few ex-Canucks in the playoffs we could be cheering for? He goes on to say there are plenty of former Canucks vying for the Stanley Cup. Travis Green, Nolan Baumgartner, Mike Yeo, Adam Gaudette, Matthew Highmore, Travis Hamonic in Ottawa, Chris Tanev and OEL in Toronto, Jacob Markstrom, Curtis Lazar, Justin Dowling, Daniel Sprong in New Jersey, Jalen Chatfield and Riley Stillman in Carolina, Nick Dowd, Anthony Beauvillier and Ethan Bear in Washington, Nate Schmidt and Jonah Gadrovich in Florida, Luke Shen in Winnipeg, Casey DeSmith in Dallas, Andre Kuzmenko and Kyle Burrows in Los Angeles, Tanner Pearson and Ben Hutton in Vegas, Jimmy Vesey in Colorado, Troy Stetcher and Vasily Podkolzin in Edmonton. If I've done my homework, Tampa, Montreal, St. Louis, and Minnesota are the only teams without former Canucks on their playoff playing rosters. I did not know that. This next question asks about Tom Willander. With the Willander situation, is it better to view him as a potential trade chip now or keep believing he'll sign? And this is why we're talking about this article, because we're going to talk about, with Willander choosing or apparently intending, not choosing, intending to go back to school for a third year and potentially 2 more years. Could he be a potential trade chip for the Canucks to get their second line center that they so desperately need? And in that end of season presser that Allvin and Rutherford did, Rutherford did mention it's looking like they're not going to be able to fill that 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 second line center role in free agency. They don't like what they're seeing in free agency. They don't think it's good enough. So it looks like they're looking to fill that second line center role via a trade, which is where Tom Willander comes in. So this person is asking if they should use him as a potential trade chip. And this is JPAT'S response. I still think Tom Willander will sign with the Canucks and be with the team at training camp. Clearly, this saga has taken a few twists and turns since Willander's college season ended, but I still think the two sides will find a way to bridge whatever gaps have arisen in contract talks. I will say this is one of the topics I'm most anticipating Patrik Allvin to address at his year-end media availability. So this was prior to the media availability. At that point, I hope we'll have a better sense of where things stand and where they're headed with the team's 2023 first rounder. So this was obviously prior to the media availability. He posted this prior to having heard from Allvin and hearing that Willander intends to, go back to school. But Sekeres Price did talk at length about using Tom Willander as a trade chip. So did David Quadrelli and Harman Dial of Canucks Convo. They also talked about it. Like, could you potentially package Tom Willander and a first round pick and get a a top 6 second line scoring center? Think about it. Now, if Willander is intending on going back to school, and if what his advisor / agent is saying, over the next few seasons, they're going to have to trade him. They can't wait that long for Willander. They need to fix that second line center role now. And Willander is a trade piece that he's an asset that they can dangle in front of somebody to try and get a second line center from. They mentioned this on Sekeres Price as well. How more teams might be more interested in DPD. Would you be willing to do Willander and DPD and potentially a first round pick and getting a second line center, maybe even a first line center, and then depending on what goes on with EP40, you have at least 2 viable first line centers. One could obviously drop down to the second line, but they would more so have said they want a 2C. Do you guys think the Canucks could go that route? Let me know in the comment section down below. Would you guys trade Tom Willander in order to fix that second line center position that has been vacant since the trade of JT Miller? And especially if you wanted somebody really good and someone who's, no offense to Filipino, but someone who's not a Filipino type of second line center or even Pius Suter level. Someone who's not here, but here. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this. Do you guys agree with using Tom Willander as a trade piece to get that longly sought after second line center. Rutherford did mention their priority focus is to get that second line center in the offseason. And then once they do that, they were even saying possibly getting 2 centers because they could lose Pius Suter as well. So they would have to get another one, perhaps. He did say once they get at least 1, maybe 2 centers, they'd look at wingers. They'd like to add at least 3 forwards this offseason. So the question is, can they do it? Once again, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you guys, as I mentioned, think Willander could be a trade piece? Do you think they pair him with their first round pick? Do you think they pair Willander and DPD and potentially their first round pick to try and get that second line center? Again, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. As always, if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the Line Change and would like to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content on this channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. If you're not following us on social media, you can follow us. You can find us on sorry, let me redo that. All right. You can find us on social media on Twitter at LineChangeFan or X, whichever you would prefer to call it. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change to find our Facebook page. If you prefer a audio version of this podcast, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And you can also find us on TikTok. I don't have it listed on here, but you can find us on TikTok as well at the.line.change.po. Yes, that's a bit of a mouthful. And whatnot. But that's going to do it for this video. Once again, if you guys liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. As I mentioned a couple of videos ago, got lots of content coming over the next couple of days. I've got them lined up, and we're gonna break down each topic that Allvin and Rutherford talked about at the end of season press availability. We're also going to talk about Brock Besser and do like a career retrospective on him potentially leaving. We're also possibly Thursday, maybe Friday, we'll dive into Jim Rutherford's comments about Rick Tocchet and whether or not he will re-sign with Vancouver. We're going to wait till then because they're saying that Tocchet could be making a decision by the end of this week. So we'll have that video at the end of the week, and hopefully we'll know by then if Tocchet is staying or if he is choosing not to re-sign with the Canucks. But as I mentioned, that's going to do it for this video. As always, go Canucks go, and I'll see you guys in the next video.